بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Dear brothers and sisters who are watching us inshallah from everywhere, yet another episode inshallah will be at your service. Today is the second day of the month of Ramadan, so we'll be starting as we did yesterday. We'll be starting to recite from the beginning of the second juz'u. Now, as you know, the Qur'an, and this is not necessarily a divine division. This is probably an arrangement that was made over time. So the Quran has been divided into 30 juz'u, 30 parts. And that just helps us organize our recitation. As you know, the Quran was revealed as ayat and sometimes as full surahs to the Prophet ﷺ throughout the period of 23 years. Of course, in addition to there is inzal and tanzil, but now we're just focused on the 23 years that the Quran was revealed part by part, ayah by ayah, multiple ayat by multiple ayat, or some surah by surah. But now the Quran that we have in our hands has been divided into 30 parts, 30 sapara, 30 juz'u. That helps us in our recitation. And as you know, the holy month of Ramadan is 30 days, 29 or 30 days. And that helps us with our programming of our recitation. Of course, we start with the ayah of the Holy Quran. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن. This was the month that was revealed. The Quran was revealed to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wasallam. And according to the hadith of Ahlulbayt, the entirety of the Quran was revealed to the Prophet, and he would recite parts of that Quran, parts of that which was revealed to him at different stages to the Muslims according to the relevant occasion or the relevant instance. What matters for us, as inshallah we wish to ensure that we have a stronger bond with the Holy Quran, is that we've got 29 or 30 days of the holy month of Ramadan. And it would be interesting to mention this, that in Mafatih al-Jinan, if you go to the A'mal of Shahru Ramadan, Mafatih al-Jinan is one of the most valuable and really one of the most amazingly laid out books that helps a believer in taking action at the right time. So A'mal of the month, A'mal of the different days, A'mal of the different ziyarat, A'mal of the different parts of the year. Rahmatullah alayh, Sheikh Abbas al-Qummi, who wrote Mafatih al-Jinan or gathered Mafatih al-Jinan from the reliable sources of Ahlulbayt. Now, in the a'mal, in the actions, in the deeds, in the recommendations of the actions that should be performed during the month of Ramadan, Sheikh Abbas al-Qummi narrates that some people, and it appears to be that scholars or some believers, would complete the full recitation of the whole Quran every 3 days. So that means that approximately 10 juz'u would be recited by that individual or individuals. That may be a bit challenging for us. In fact, it is challenging. And let me give you a brief assessment or estimate of how to calculate your Quran recited. Every juz'u takes approximately between half an hour and 1 full hour, depending on the speed of your recitation. Half an hour if your speed is fast, so if you're comfortable with your recitation, if you're familiar with the Holy Quran and the ayat, it takes you about half an hour. So to complete 10 juz'u a day, it's actually doable. It's challenging, but it's doable. It requires dedication. I personally met individuals who would complete Quran every 3 days, as in the recitation, the full recitation of the Quran from the first day, from the first ayah to the last ayah. It's a bit challenging. It requires approximately 5 hours a day, which is doable if you think about the time that we spend on, some people would spend on social media or on TV or on entertainment, or even the time that some people spend on their travels from their home to their education place, or to their university or school or to their work. That time which is spent traveling, if you add that up every day, it would probably amount to 2 or 3 hours a day. So we're not that far off but it is not easy. If we cannot, and most of us unfortunately we may find it difficult to dedicate 5 hours of our time to the Holy Quran, then let's dedicate 1 hour of our time every day, specifically during the month of Ramadan. Here is a note that I heard from one of the ulama. One of the ulama said, if there is a time, you know, all these ideas, all these plans, aspirations, all these great changes that you would like to implement in your life, and you say, from that moment, I will be doing this, I will be doing that. Those amazing changes, the best time really that gives you the boost, that gives you a great help, the best time to implement those changes that you've ever aspired to is the month of Ramadan. One of those changes, and all of us should be invited to implement, is our relationship with the Holy Quran. So the month of Ramadan is really the best opportunity to make that change. Let's start with us now, if you'd like to open the second juz'u, the beginning of second juz'u. If you have a copy of the Holy Quran printed from Hajj, for example, or those copies which are mostly available, and they refer to them Uthman Taha print. And Uthman Taha was just a calligrapher. In fact, actually, he passed away recently. So this copy of calligraphy that we have most popularly or most commonly available, was actually written, the calligraphy of that was written fairly recently, just in the last century. If you go to page 22, if your Quran is a Uthman Taha calligraphy, which, like I said, is the one that you would get most if people go to Hajj, or go to Hajj and bring with them copies of the Holy Quran, you would then go to page 22. That would be the beginning of ayah 142 of Surah Al-Baqarah. I am going to recite some ayat, and I would like you, please, to pay attention, listen as much as possible, pay attention to the details of the recitation, and follow with us if possible. So that's Surah Al-Baqarah, ayah number 142, page 22. If your copy of the Holy Quran is the Uthman Taha calligraphy, سيقول السفهاء أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم سيقول السفهاء